Chapter 60, Love and Longing. Ladies, warriors, a pook of all origins and all other races with a thrill for battle, those few men with a stomach for violence and fast-paced combat. I am Goyitis, announcer of this broken shell tournament. There are 46,656 contestants broken down into 6 rounds of combat. 6 contestants will enter in each fight, and each time only one will leave with their shell intact. This time we've got a new toy, a projector to show us not only the names of each of our participants, but what their shells are made of as well. As we progress, their pictures will be updated to show their greatest moments. The last one with their shell intact will be permitted the honor of carrying it into Castle Adagtur and trading it to the Empress for not only a crown but a royal title. Unfortunately, that means she won't get the chance to fight again, but who needs to when you've got the title? Am I right? The roar of the crowd is so loud it's captured on the microphone the announcer is speaking from. Glad to hear the crowd's excited. Now, the first 2 rounds are going to be good and quick, but there's going to be a lot of them. The girls here are eager, and there are even a few men seeing how they stack up. Hopefully they won't get much more than a slight scar and a scary story. And here we are. The first round, this one has one of the men, a Tret. No, my apologies. One of those new humans. He's coming here no doubt as some silly little obsession, as he's married to one of our battle princesses. He looks so tiny compared to the girls around him. Hopefully they don't outright eat the poor man. They might have to, because while his opponents are using hardened steel and kutha in their traditionally molded shells, he has tritite and steel as a flexible shirt instead. Here they are. All of them are taking their positions and getting ready for the fight. They're all eyeing up Mr. Vernon Shea and obviously dismissing him as the weak link. It could be a mistake, though. There are stories going back to the earliest days of surprise sorcerers. Now then, it's anyone's fight. Let us begin, Goyitis announces with glee, and the crowd roars. Time out! Vernon bellows, and the color in the arena bleeds away as the Apuk warriors charging each other slow to a stop. He alone retains his color and capacity to move. He starts humming to himself as he casually walks through the stilled air and up to the nearest competitor. He punches her shell casually, and it shatters under his fist before the shards and fragments pause in the temporally stilled atmosphere. The humming continues as he walks up to the next and runs his fingers through the shell, leaving massive cracking furrows that pause when he stops destroying the armor. The next one is open hand slapped and buckles under the unnatural force before he calmly elbows the next and craters it before it goes still again. The final one, he puts his hands on both edges and crumples it like an empty can. He continues to hum calmly to himself as he walks back to his starting position. Time in! He commands the world, and each of his opponents crash to the floor as the sheer force exerted on their shells causes them all to shatter and crumble in a heartbeat. He doesn't even look back and keeps walking out of the arena, the winner of the first round. By the goddess, he is a sorcerer. We have an alien sorcerer in the Broken Shell tournament. What a contender! Didn't I tell you not to dismiss him? Ah, this is too good. Better luck next time, girls. You were up against a freaking time master. Woo! Goyitis cheers as the images of the 5 defeated Apuk fade from the projector, and Vernon's is first expanded, then replaced with an image of him casually elbowing a shell to pieces with a calm look on his face and a gentle smile. You're all right, Mironoir exclaims as he arrives in the back. There was doubt? Well, no, but I'm allowed to worry. Not to mention, you never know when you'll run into Princess Materielle in a round. It's only going to get much more dangerous from here. Oh, no doubt. Everything I show will be used against me in the next round, so I have to show something different each time. Vernon remarks as he and Mironoir walk into the waiting room for the second round participants and family to watch the next round. So it's true. I thought the feed was hacked, An alien male is won in the first round, a voice says after a short while. There are a lot of battles going on. No matter how fast they go, it will take nearly half a day to get through the first round alone, and even if everything ends in a second, then round 2 will still take hours with all the preparations. Most matches last maybe a minute. There's a lot of minutes to burn through. Sorry, ma'am, it's very real. Vernon apologizes kindly and she scowls. Do you even know what it means to be called a sorcerer? She asks him and he nods. Oh, really? Asterisk. It means to venture to the grand forests and learn, to grow stronger from the shadows of trees and songs of leaves. He says in Cinder Tongue, oldest language of the Apuk still spoken to this day. He'd learned a lot from the forests. The sorcerer's saying, she whispers in awe. You're his main wife, right? Is there... Starting requirement is to be a battle princess, or equivalent, Mironoir says, and the woman blinks. Meaning, I would have to beat him in a... You know what? Game on. That sounds wonderful. Just like out of a story. Like the Princess Kai Mora and the Sorcerer Quinfor. Or Princess Tyne Lin and the Sorcerer Rathra. Mironoir adds, and the Apuk all but skips off to tell the next winning contestant. I think we started something. Vernon notes and Mironoir flinches. Don't worry. All I have to do is win. All you have to do? Mironoir asks with an amused smile. They're right about one thing. I am a sorcerer, and what do the stories say? He asks Mironoir, who pauses. That it takes a princess to best one, sometimes an entire sisterhood of battle princesses. Only the best is getting that crown, and only though me, then we can see from there. If she isn't already married, Vernon assures her. Don't worry. Our little condition turns away most, if not all. Excuse me, a cross voice states, and both Vernon and Mironoir turn to see a petite Apuk with jet black hair and wearing a green dress. May we help you? Vernon asks, and she narrows her eyes. I don't know what kind of game you're playing at, Tret, but it will not be allowed to continue. This tournament is a sacred ceremony designed to determine whom amongst us is most worthy to be called princess. It's not only inappropriate for a man to be in this tournament, but an alien man, one that lies about the manner of his species? That's simply insulting, she says before turning and marching off. How pleasant, Mironoir notes in a slightly sour tone. How about some lunch? We could both stand to have something break the sour taste in our mouths. An excellent idea. Do you have any recommendations? He asks, and she nods while standing up. I do indeed. There's a small family-owned bakery and salad shop not too far away from the arena. It's nearly as old as the arena itself and is a bit of a tradition to eat there. Line up might be a little long then, Vernon remarks as he pictures it going around the block several times. Yes, but it's worth it. A piece of cultural history. Not to mention they take pictures of every participant that eats at their shop, then a second after they win. Oh? So I might see a picture of the bigger, meaner Mironoir right beside one of you now. On second thought, perhaps we should go someplace else. Oh, come. Now I'm sure it will be fine. You certainly looked fine on the recording of your battles. You think even that is beautiful? It's you, my love. You could be a towering titan of muscle and menace or the delicate and dainty lady you are now. You're beautiful regardless, he says, taking her hand and delicately kissing the back of it. Oh, Vernon, she coos, heart aflutter. She leans in and kisses him on the lips. He wraps his arms around her waist and they simply luxuriate at the feeling and taste of each other. Come on, no need to brag, a passing contestant says, and they break up their kiss. She's beaming at them as she stalks past. Plenty cute, though, she shoots back as she leaves. Fingers laced together, they walk out of the arena and start picking their way through the castle city. Mironoir has to stifle a giggle at his open admiration of the architecture. Towers are all over the place and considered an essential in Apuk buildings. From them, streamers and bunting hang in the four colors of Apuk warfire: red, blue, green, and white, to flap merrily in the wind. The overhangs and balconies the Apuk are fond of give them all a great view to lean out from and watch. He and Miro Noir receive a few waves, and several times they're called by name. Well, wishers for him and all the contestants are shouted from the towers and windows. A flurry of names all echo out, and he can hear his own within the din. I never thought I'd have fans. It's rather heady. We're a warrior people, silly. Those that are willing to display their power to the best of their abilities are honored and respected. So of course those fighting each other for a noble title are celebrities. Just for getting through the first round, I'm going to be rejecting a lot of marriage requests. You're going to be rejecting a lot more than that, he says with a grin, and she giggles into her hand. Most likely, unless you get unlucky. You never know what kind of potential a girl's got until you're staring her down in a brawl. Something to certainly remember, he says with a grin. By the by, what are you planning for the next round? Miro Noir asks, and he chuckles. That's encouraging, but not very detailed. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what I did in the first round. Instead of slowing things down, I'm going to speed things up, and instead of affecting the others, I'll be affecting myself. The problem is that I made a promise to call out a certain battle cry when I do so. Is it obscene? It's a pop culture reference. There's a villain in a long-running, highly stylized series that uses an identical ability. When he activates it, he screams it at the top of his lungs in another language that he's not a native speaker of and slurs the words with his accent. Zawarudo. What does it mean? Miro Noir asks gently, and he just chuckles for a moment before answering. That's the funny part. It's an accent from a language I don't speak, saying two words in my native language and mangling them to near complete incomprehensibility. It means the world, which is what that character controls for about 5 seconds, maybe more. I haven't seen it myself, but so many of my friends reference it so often that I usually have to throw things at them to get them to stop. Vernon explains, and Miro Noir descends into giggles at the idea. Her Vernon, being begged to play the part of a villain. The very idea is ludicrous. Oh dear goodness, you certainly predicted the lineup, she exclaims as they turn a corner. The line is backed up to the corner, but thankfully is moving at a fast pace. To be honest, I feared it to be even worse. This is manageable, Vernon remarks.